a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. It's the first one for the week. Promises to be exciting as always. From the city of Lagos right here in Nigeria, I'm Yemi Adebayo.
It's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports right here in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. I mean, before we get into it, there's an interesting one going on right there in the FIVB Championship. Nigeria, the Flying Eagles, taking on Côte d'Ivoire. As it is, it's Nigeria 1, Côte d'Ivoire 0. If they win that one, they get into the final and then book a place at the under-20 AFCON. Pretty good time. So grassroots football development, because yes, this is where we can start, trying to correct some of the mistakes I've already seen in the Super Eagles. So good job by Ladan Boso and his team. Let's just hope that they will keep the focus going to win this one and qualify for the championship. Then in the UK, we're monitoring Southampton and Liverpool. Yeah, Navy game for Liverpool. Is it that they win this or that they forget about the title? That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's a confirmation on the screen. Southampton won, Liverpool won. Liverpool had to claw their way back into this game. There's already a casualty. Joe Gomez already injured. Some star players weren't listed for this game. Of course, their highs on the UEFA Champions League final against Real Madrid. It's going to be very interesting. We'll see. We'll keep monitoring this one as well to see what happens. And just like you said, I was joking with our producer before I came on set that the Flying Eagles had to win, or else it is all over before it begins. That's the story here in this part. If you do not qualify for major tournaments, nobody cares about you. And I'm very happy for Ladan Boso and his guys. Hopefully, they will be able to do what is necessary, because that's all that's needed at this point. Just ensure you win, qualify for the AFCON, not 20 AFCON, and also get that ticket. Now, then we can start talking about you. All right, let me give our viewers a quick rundown of what to expect on the show before I introduce our partner in the Lagos studio, and hopefully our other guests will come through for us as we continue with this show. And just like Austin said, we'll keep you informed as to what's happening between Southampton and Liverpool at St. Mary's. We'll also talk about volleyball. We'll give you a slice of volleyball on the show tonight. We will also talk about the women. A large portion of the show will be dedicated to the women. We're going to be talking about the Super 6. We're going to be talking about the Super Falcons as well. A list of 32 players invited. We'll be talking about that as we move on the show. We will also give you updates from the FIVB Under 20 Championships currently going on. We'll also talk about what's going to happen tomorrow, the Europa League final, of course, between Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers. Rangers parades 3 Super Eagles players. We'll also talk about Michael Jordan is in the news. Some of the footwear he has used before is up for auction, and you will be surprised the amount of money placed on those things. Sports memorabilia will also get our attention when we talk about him. And if we have time, we'll also spare a thought for Deontay Wilder. WBC saying he will be in line to fight for that title if Tyson Fury decides to actually retire. All right, that's the outlook of the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Kehinde Idris joins us tonight. Kehinde Idris, good evening to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us tonight on the show.
Good evening to you, Yemi. Good evening also to Austin out there in London. It's good to be here. 2 weeks I was not being here, but it feels good to be back. And the lineup, especially the Nigerian angle, I think I'm so up and ready on that. Really, the Flying Eagles with Ladan Boso. Let's see how this pans out. Like you said, hey, the beginning is all. Yes, you can say the later part is the juicy part, but if you do not get to qualify, then it never began.
Yeah, never began at all. And hopefully it won't end before it begins. Yeah. That's the prayer for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. But trust us, we'll let you know what's going on in that game. All right, let's move on. First, we want to talk about volleyball on the show tonight, and let's quickly let you know that the International Volleyball Federation has announced that it will assist the Nigeria Volleyball Federation in developing the game in the country. The vice president of the international body, Mustaq Mohammed, says there is need to help the development of the game and enhance the participation of Nigeria in World Championships and the Olympics. Also, Secretary of the Federation's Athletes Commission, Gilberto Amori, reviews that Nigeria is among the well-structured volleyball nations in Africa. That's a comment we are all, that's a compliment we are all pleased about. All right, let's take some reactions and we'll come back to discuss some more on all of these issues and more.
The junior category is one of the most important categories for development. What has happened is that we can see you are doing quite well at the junior category, but it's not transitioning upwards. And this is what we need to help you with. We need to help you with new technology. We need to help you with better administration to train the administrators so that leadership can help to bring forward that transition from the youth category to the junior category to the senior category. Nigeria should also be very much important for beach volleyball. So we are very much interested for the all-round development so that soon we'll see Nigeria in the Olympics for volleyball and beach volleyball.
Help the kids, help development these 54 countries we have here in Africa. And for sure, Nigeria will need to start with them because it's really good. I have some kind of key countries and we start to working with them to try to globalize all Africa together. And in the future, I see the teams coming world champion, Olympic champion from Africa.
Just like I said, that commendation is pleasing. And when you hear assurances from the highest levels of support, it also will please you. Austin, I'm very sure you are quite pleased, as I am, to hear officials of the body say that Nigeria is one of the best organized volleyball playing nations in Africa. And of course, the desire of the Federation to see us play at World Championships and the Olympics, that also is something to be happy about.
And the president gave a good charge. I mean, he said at the grassroots, we have good players. Said the junior players are good, but that there's no transition. You see, that means there's the faulty structure, and they have identified it. So he said, we want to work with you guys. And the first thing he mentioned is infrastructure, because it's very, very important. When you lack facilities, then you can't have programs. So say, we're going to help you guys with infrastructure. We'll train your administrators. So it means that leadership is also important. Shout out to Engineer Musa Nimrod and his team. Since they came into the administration of volleyball in Nigeria, we're beginning to get talking points, which is what we need. Now we need more action. An international body is coming in to say, look, it's not just volleyball. We see it with boxing. We see it with football. We see it with table tennis. Nigeria is a marketplace. We have the Let's hope that with this now we'll see some changes with the administration of volleyball in Nigeria.
Yeah, we also as well. Kehinde Idris, I think it's only fair. Let me allow you to say something. Yeah. I got carried away with some of those comments, and I think it's good. But Austin, also quickly bringing me back to hurt, there is something that they've seen that is missing, and they're looking for ways to help us get it done.
Let me go to a bit of football. Alexandra Seferin, president of UEFA, former Hungarian FA president. We're talking Mustafa, who is Mohamed Mustach, who is former president of Trinidad and Tobago Volleyball, Federation. It is what it is. There is a place these guys are coming from. They've seen it at the national level, now at the federal level. And when they say some things, they are not just, it's not a blasphemy. It is something that is actually there. It is real. When they talk about technological know-how, there are new ways to doing things. There are new ways to, achieving what you want to achieve. They kind of bore you. I can remember sometimes ago, our Sand Eagles complained about the ball they used to train. And when they got to the championship, they understood that that even the federational body, the global body, has sent the new kind of ball. You have struggle if you don't even understand the basic ball to use for volleyball. Not to talk of, you know, the kind of footwear to wear, the kind of dresses. Some will tell you the ones you're wearing before are heavy, so it doesn't help your flight and all of that. These are some of the things we should learn. But most marketing is said, and I've always complained about so many times, I drop the whole problem at the doorstep of these people is the administrators. See, whenever the volleyballers, now we're talking volleyball, go out there every morning, they wake, they go to the gym, they train, they train every now and then, sweating all over. They get to, you know, think of how they better themselves every day. I'm asking a simple question. Do the administrators also think in that line? How do we better ourselves to help these guys every day? All now, right. If anything happens, the first thing you go is, that player cannot play well, this player cannot do well. What about you, the administrators? So many at times, the shots you do not call off the court, off the tracks, off the pitch, off the field, comes back to affect, you know, what the players do. So administration is very murky for me.
All right. So we're talking about all the necessary ingredients that can, you know, make way for us having volleyball get to the top. That will make us all happy. All right, let's talk about the ladies now, and we're going to spend we're going to spend a few minutes talking about the ladies. But first, let's just talk about the Nigeria Women's Football League Super 6 results. Let's allow Austin lead us through as we talk about. Okay, there's an update from St. Mary's, and that's it on your screen. Austin, very sure it's happening close to you. Liverpool, in spite of their challenges, I mean, had to replace Joe Gomez from what I saw in the first half, but they've got the job done. Now they've scored. It's 2-1. Do you think they'll be able to get this to the finish line?
I think they will. When they get into this mood, they just start flying, because if Southampton should win, Man City are already champions. Mm-hmm. If this ends in a draw, it will leave Man City on the brink of winning the title. But if Liverpool wins, then it means I will take it to the end of the season. And that's what we want to see. So shout out to Liverpool for doing what they need to do, you know, push the game to the level where they can be comfortable, get the entire 3 points. That's what's at stake for them. So we'll get to see. With Southampton, you never, ever, you know, blink, because it's the sort of team that on a good day they can hurt any team. But Joel Matip was the goal for Liverpool in the 67th minute. Who needs this more? So definitely Liverpool. So let's just see if they can go all the way, score one more, you know, to get to safety. But if they blink, Yemi, we know what Southampton can do at St. Mary's. So let's just hope that Liverpool will stay focused and see it till the end.
What comes a win, a loss, a draw. 2 favors City. Liverpool just have to win. All right, Austin, let's go back to the Women's League. You were about to take us through what happened today. We have fixtures for tomorrow and so for Thursday, I beg your pardon, but things happened today. So let's take a look at the results, and you talk us through the results as we have them on the screen.
I know this is the competition. When you forget everything that happened in the league, for instance, Niger Rattles, they were very decent, you know, during the regular season, but now just look at the results from today. Bielsa Queens, you know, at this stage, you just need to bring everything, and that's what Bielsa Queens did, thrashing Niger Rattles 4-0. Edo Queens, they will be ruining those misses that they had in this match. But Nasarawa Amazons, what a win for them. This is a team like about 2-3 seasons ago, they were a dominant force in the league. They were proving points, and then they started, you know, going down. But Rivers Angels, defending champions, couldn't get a win over Delta Queens. It tells you it's competitive. We love it at this stage. Women's football has been, to some point, a good model for developmental sports in Nigeria. And we just want to keep seeing lovely football from the ladies.
Yeah, we just want to keep seeing. Let's go to Thursday. That's match day 3. Let me reel out the fixtures. Nasarawa Amazons. We're talking about the Super 6 for the ladies. Nasarawa Amazons up against Delta Queens. Bayelsa Queens up against Edo Queens. And you have Niger Ratels up against Rivers Angels. So that will be day 3. It's hotting up, Kane.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you blink, it's just all over before it starts. And, I mean, this is the highest. You win this, you're on the continent.
Yeah,
and that's what they all want.
There is additional prize. Before, it used to be bragging rights. I'm the winner of the NWFL. You know, season just ended. Now there is also the incentives that when you get to win, as much as you have the bragging rights as the #1 team in Nigeria for female club football, there is money in your pocket because now you're even going to the continent. And with Rivers Angels last year, it was looking like, okay, the maiden edition, is it going to be? It happened. It started, everybody saw it, and it also climaxed. It got to the end. So there is another coming up, and we want to see which team will be the second, you know, to represent us. Probably we'll still have the same team, but I just want to take our time to shower praises on Bayelsa Queens. Last time out in the regular season, they were almost untouchable. Very beautiful side, but when it got to the Super 6, I don't know what happened. Bayelsa Queens just fizzled out. They didn't perform at all, and that helped Rivers Angels to get that sole ticket to represent us. Now this season, I think they are still bitter from what happened last season. They blazed through, you know, the regular season. Now in the Super 6, in the first game, they took out Rivers Angels 2-1. In the second game, newcomers Niger Ratels 4-0 walloping. I think that is an emphatic statement. And right now, they sit at the top of the table. They just want to see this through. I think the entire idea for Bayelsa Queens is, yes, you missed out being there last time. As much as some of us even felt you played better than the representative, which is Rivers Angels, this is the time you need to. And they are doing that. And I want to see them against Edo Queens, another well-motivated team. But Bayelsa Queens look like they are better than every other team now. For Rivers Angels, the reason why we're talking about them now, they've not won any game yet. They drew today, they lost yesterday to Bayelsa Queens, and it is a worry because this is a top side. Also, if you're going to the continent, you always need your most experienced team to go out there. But maybe Bayelsa Queens would be better representative if we go by what Rivers Angels did, you know, at the continent last time. It was a shambolic performance. It wasn't good at all. I want to have that represent. So Super 6, it's a carnival. As much as you're enjoying the football, I don't know, there is a way women do their things. It's always beautiful. There is a carnival side where you just enjoy every bit of every moment.
All right. Kennedy is scaring me right there. It's day 3. Kennedy already has an idea who might likely win. All right. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But, of course, we must continue to praise the ladies, always giving us things to say and not letting us get distracted by the shenanigans and all the things that are not pleasant about Nigerian football. The problems are many, but sometimes when people sidestep the problems and give you things to say about football, just football. It is heartwarming. I don't know if Austin will be as bold enough to begin to say this team might win. Well, it's not our job to do so. But
I can't even do that. I can't even do that now because with what we've seen today at the likes of Edo Queens, we'll go all out to win on Thursday. Rivers Angels must win. Niger Ratels, they weren't bad, you know, during the regular season. I'm sure they will be saying, how did they, you know, concede 4 against Bayelsa Queens? So I think it get more.
Yeah.
That's what games are played on Thursday, I mean.
Yeah, we will. All right, we need to, okay, before we go on a break, let's quickly check the situation with our Flying Eagles. I'm very sure our producer will put it on screen for us. We're about to go on a break, but let's see what's happening with Landon Boso's boys. They're battling it out. They're battling it out with, I hear it's still 1-0, so we'll leave it at that for now. We hope, that's it on your screen. We hope it remains this way so that the boys can steal a place at the Under-20 AFCON, and hopefully they will also get there and pick a ticket to the Under-20 World Cup. And remember, we are yet to win the Under-20 World Cup. Ghana has been able to do that before Nigeria, and so for some of us, we'll still love to see the Flying Eagles go all the way after playing 2 finals, 1989, 2005. we have to do one better. But it's a long journey, and we understand. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll talk about the Super Falcons. We'll talk about the Europa League. We'll give you updates from the match currently going on in the English Premier League, filling with updates with Flying Eagles, and also talk about Michael Jordan, talking about sports memorabilia. And if we have time, we'll push in a little bit of boxing. We'll do that when we return from this break. All right, welcome back. We're still on the mats talking about the ladies. And, of course, let's talk about the Super Falcons, and let's quickly take a look at the list of 32 players invited for a training camp in Morocco as the girls prepare for the big one. Let's take a look at that list, look at it. A few players from the domestic scene involved, called up in that squad. 3 players from the domestic scene called up. Let me quickly run through the list. 32 players: Chiamaka Nadozie, Tochukwu Oluehi, Rita Akereko, and Yewande Balogun. Those are the goalkeepers in the squad. Okpayemi Sunday, Glory Ogbola, Olowe Ebi, the new captain of the team, Osinachi Ohale, you have Ugochi Emenayo, you have Ashley Plumtie, you have Nicole Payne, and Michelle Alozie, she's based in Houston, the United States, and Akudo Ogbola, the lady who plays for Edo Queens. In the midfield, you have Peace Effie, Amanda Uju Umbadi, she plays in Turkey, Lima Tuaide. You also have Charity Adule, you have Tony Payne, you have Regina Otu, Christy Uchebe, Rashidat Ajibade, Rita Chikwelu, and Suliat Abidin. She plays for Edo Queens. The forwards: Anna Imo, Francisca Odega, Desire Okparadozie, Vivian Ikechukwu, Chinoyere McLeans, Chiwendu Hezo, Ifeoma Onumonu, Uchenna Kanu, and Azizat Oshola. This is the list of 32. I'm very sure it's going to be pruned at some stage. We'll see what happens with that. Let's see. Let me get your thoughts quickly on this list. I think you're probably looking at the best Nigeria can offer. Yes,
the best of the best, really. Okwaranoze is back in the squad. Also, Aziza Toshuala. The last time she couldn't be here for the double-header friendly against Canada because she was injured as of then. And also congratulations to her just winning Pichichi for the female. So it looks like the strongest squad. But one worry for me, I don't know, probably it's because of the Super 6 ongoing. Gift Monday is supposed to be here, but her name is omitted. I don't know for what reason, because as of the time the camp would open, the Super 6 will be over. So you can even give her a week rest and then let her join. Because as of the last set of games, this lady has been a huge figure for us. So I don't know. But that's the only thing I have seen. But for this squad, I think the strongest of the strongest. Look at where our ladies are playing. Hey, probably it's time for the guys to learn less. It was seen Sevilla, was seen Madrid, CFA, was seen Barcelona, was seen different teams in France and all of that. These teams are huge, and the ones playing at home, the biggest of the teams, Rivers Angels, Edo Queens, and the like. So it's a good show around the wild drum. I think there is no excuse to not do well. Hey, no disrespect to any team around Africa, but with this squad, I think teams, even without playing, are already trembling. So now you have to match, their expectation with what you do on the pitch.
The way you sounded reminds me of 1993 when Philippe Trouzet was the coach of the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, and he was telling them that this Super Eagles squad will defeat their team, and he got into trouble for telling them that. And you could remember, you could remember that the team that Nigeria had at that time was enough to scare anybody at that time. And he later coached Nigeria, but of course was a short spell. All right, let me get back to Austin. I'm sorry I have to drag you back. You have an update for us regards Edo Queens.
women's football. I mean, I said that it's getting really competitive. Last season, Edo Queens, they thought they were, properly positioned to win the league, and then they didn't. Now they got coach, Wemimo, and everything went well for them at the start of the season till they qualified for the Super Six. But right after losing today's match to Nassau Amazon, the management of Edo Queens, they have sacked the entire coaching crew.
Wow.
It is what it is. Coaches are had to be fired, So I don't know why they're doing this now. We'll get more information, but it has to do with maybe coaching judgments, or they just don't like the way they started the Super Six and they're losing, or this particular player that Coach Wemimo should have used and all of that. Sometimes when these things happen, I'm close to say maybe it's interference, but who pays the piper will always dictate the tune. So that's the story. Edo Queens, they have sacked the entire coaching crew just after losing today's game in the Women's Super Six.
All right, Kaine Idris shaking his head while you were talking. I wanted to avoid the story initially, but now you've brought it to the fore.
Yes.
I agree with Austin.
At the start of the season, two teams in the NWFL have proper warfarism and motivation.
Yeah.
Rivers Angels on one side, Edo Queens on the other side.
I mean, there were talks about them flying to venues.
Exactly, and both teams are now enjoying this equal pay with their male counterparts. That is to tell you everything they are enjoying, you are also enjoying. You are a massive team, and you should give a massive result. And it was no brainer.
Those has to be based on results.
Of course, it was no brainer that they topped the Group A table in the regular season. And then for Rivers Angels, they also topped the Group A, the Group B table, and it is what it is. Now, after 2 games, it's looking like
we're not going to get the ultimate prize.
The sun might not rise here. Please, let us do anything as this. You can say it's in the middle of the championship, but if there is anything you can do to salvage things, then you should.
Okay. Austin wants to say something.
More information reaching me from a top management staff of Edo Queens. They wanted Coach Wemimo to sign Monday Gifts. I don't know how she managed by not getting Monday Gift, but they're now saying Monday Gift is on fire at the Super Six. Currently, the highest goal scorer, the top scorer after the first game. And they're saying, you see, we wanted this player. I would say, give her what she wants. Let her come to Edo Queens. And it is what it is. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe they should have waited. Don't you think so? They should have just waited.
Yeah, she is with Bayelsa, banging in goals after goals. 4 goals already in the champion. No, she scored 2 in the first game, getting 3 in the second game. This lady cannot stop scoring, and I don't know why any coach, probably it's a personal issue, why any coach would have the chance to sign Monday Gift and would, look away. Hey, Robo Queens has given about 7 players to different teams in the ongoing Super 6, NWFL Super 6. Monday Gift, biggest of them all. If you have the chance, you didn't sign her, coming back to haunt you, I think you should sit down and lick your wounds now. You should.
All right. We'll get more on this as we go on. But for me, I'm very happy that the ladies can get us talking and emotional this way about football is something. And in a particular group,
it just shows that it's serious business, and it's
it is. It is serious business.
Particularly when you're giving them the same treatment that you are giving to the men.
Yeah, you expect the results. That's it. A lot of people, as we are trying to do, we are scrambling to get explanation. But you have given us one of the likely reasons. Yeah. And KD has tried as well. Maybe somebody's already counting the losses, and we're not going to get the ultimate prize. So what's the worst that can happen? Just go. And before you feel sorry for any manager, all coaches know that there are 2 types of coaches: the ones that have been fired, and the ones that are waiting to be fired. Is the hazard of the job.
Should I call a name in the MPFL? The one that cannot be sacked.
I know where you're going. but also, let's get back to the Super Falcons. I mean, that was a good discussion on Edo Queens. Super Falcons, and Katie just gave me his thoughts. I do agree. Apart from the name you just mentioned, that the lady we're discussing in glowing terms about how good. That's the only omission that you could say. Although we've not been given any explanation as to why the name is not on that list, but you can't argue that this is probably the best we have at this moment.
It is, particularly with what we've seen, Randy Wardrum doing with this team, constantly building. But I would have loved to see Ngozi Okobi on that team anyway, as she's missing. Because, why do I say that? There's just something about the ladies and the way they play. And if they've been playing together for quite some time, it's good to just keep the team together. But let's not doubt the quality of what Randy Wardrum has invited. And by the time it's cut down to what is needed for the competition proper, we believe that the Super Falcons will go out there and impress arguably the best team on the continent. We agree that the other guys are looking for ways to, overtake the Super Falcons, but they're still the team to beat. I'm glad Desire Akbaranozie is back in the mix. Sisa Toshala is also in the team. Onomebi is there. So it's just for them to come together now, speak to themselves and say, look, we are the team to beat. So let's go out there and show them that we cannot be beaten.
All right. So that's good. Hopefully, we'll get the job done when the competition proper begins. Guys, let's switch gears now and talk about the biggest thing that's going to happen tomorrow in the world of football. It's the UEFA Europa League. And if anybody was asked to predict the two teams that will play in the final, I'm very sure nobody would have been bold enough to say Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers. But that's what we're going to have tomorrow. Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers. And if you're an emotional person or you're a sentimental person, if you're a Nigerian, you would love these two teams. Yeah. First, Eintracht Frankfurt, because this was a team JJ Okocha played for. And if you followed his career, I had fond memories. That dribble that had evolved Oliver Kahn. I mean, you could always watch that clip over and over. And if you also want to talk about Nigeria, Rangers of Scotland, having three current Super Eagles players, you will be torn as to who you would want to support in that game. But before Austin takes us through some of the reactions we're going to see, let me quickly get your opinion before we pass the baton back to Austin. This game to be played in Spain, the Spanish authorities already preparing, because anything that involves England and Germany in football, be ready for a lot of fights. Yes, a lot of fights. Even the national teams, I don't know. There is always issues. I think one person I don't want to be on planet Earth right now is JJ Okocha. Ask JJ, who are you supporting tomorrow? Would you look away from your current brothers who are in Rangers, or would you look away from the team that gave you fond memories? As of the time he played in Frankfurt, that was a time where the entire world started taking proper note of who JJ is. So it's turned in between who to support. But tomorrow, with Eintracht Frankfurt taking out Barcelona, who were favorites at the time, I think Eintracht Frankfurt just directly became the favorite. Hey, you can't say that does not translate to what happens on the pitch. But if you take out a favorite, everybody start looking at you. And they build up from there, to be in the final. For Rangers, it was a tough run all the way build up to this place. At a point, Sexy Feet, Joe Aribo wasn't available for them. Somebody who is a marquee figure. Now he returned in the semi-final, did what he needed to do. They qualified for the final. I think this final is one of those finals. If you are not a core supporter of any of this team, just sit down somewhere and just have fun with watching the game. It's going to be mind-blowing. See, one of the things that is giving me joy is the fact that this is the Europa League and the entire world is taking time to want to see how the game will pan out. Not minding if it's Frankfurt or Rangers. This year had a proper feel where it is so edgy from start to finish. I'm so happy that the Europa League is having this kind of attention. And I want to see, for me, Eintracht Frankfurt, no disrespect to JJ, I think I'll ship pitch tent with my brothers, Joe Aribo, Leon Balogo, and Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey. Okay, I don't know if Austin is going to do that. Is it easy? It's in the UK. Is it easy to be a neutral? Well, he has already pointed us in the direction you might go. He says you're in the UK and it's Rangers. You're likely going to support Rangers. But is it easy? Is it easy if you're a Nigerian, you have reason to love both clubs? Yeah. But is it easy to be neutral?
But as a broadcast journalist,
you have to. You have to.
One that is expected to be neutral. Yeah. I think I should just shoot myself with that. But
as a football fan.
But there's some interesting. Yeah, there's an interesting fact to this game. I mean, if Frankfurt should win, they will become the first winners from Germany. If Rangers should win, they will become the first winners from Scotland. So it tells you that we are placed for a proper Europa, Cup final. So let's just take some talking points just before that game, and then we'll come back. We'll talk more about it.
A huge opportunity for us to get the second major prize in history in Europe for this club. So we are very determined to bring the trophy back with us. We respect the opponent. The opponent did an amazing run in Europe as well. So it's got to be an exciting final. But a final is always nice when you win it, and if you lose it, you don't like it. So we are here to win it. Well, the mood is very, very good. We're all excited of course, to play the final tomorrow. The preparation went really well, with an extra day to prepare for the game tomorrow in Glasgow. So we traveled yesterday, tonight a light training, and tomorrow we have the final meetings for our game plan. But we are ready for tomorrow. I see a lot of similarities with Dortmund and Leipzig. Of course, it's a very well-organized team. They play the same system as Leipzig, but of course they have different players in different positions, so their qualities are different. But still, there are very, very well-organized, very fast players. In transition moments, they can be quite dangerous. So I think they deserve to be in the final, and they had great ties against Barcelona and West Ham, of course, and they're also here because they deserved it. And I'm really excited to play against them. Two historic, two clubs with a lot of history. So and a very dominant and loyal fan base. So it's going to be a really exciting final.
Would definitely be an exciting final. I mean, one of our viewers is saying Austin Rangers won it before. Let's set the record straight. When Rangers lifted it in 1972, it was the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
And when Frankfurt won it, it was the UEFA Cup in 1980. But as the Europa League, this will be the first time that both teams will be chasing it. So, brace up, guys.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And we're having a laugh in the studio. Germany and England, when both countries have clubs or national teams playing, the police, the law enforcement agencies have to do a double shift.
Yeah.
And the guys in Spain are already telling us, yeah, we're ready. Because, I mean, it's going to start from the pubs, even before the match is played, and emotions will run riot when one team loses. But do you foresee a time in the near future you have a team from England and from Germany who play football? We're not going to see arrests. We're not going to see all those things. Do you foresee a time in the near future that we're going to have that?
It does, except they ban the pubs, no beer before the games, At halftime, some people are even still going out there to take more beer, and it's not going well for them. So there might just be some, disorder. I don't like what I see. But that's the update.
Don't like what I...
on the 20 championship. Nigeria won very tough. This is a good test of their character, Yemi and Kende, and hopefully they can bounce back and get the results.
I had a premonition this is going to happen, and I hope it wasn't going to happen, but it has happened. But again, I agree with you, Austin. It's a true test of character. Let's see. I don't want it to be over before it starts. Look, nobody will talk about these guys if they can't make it out of waffle. Yeah. Nobody's going to talk. And just like I said off camera, the way we run age grade tournaments, we only remember them when they win. Yeah. We forget that cycle is for development. They hold that 2 years. Not just the guys that are in your team, all the players that fall into that age bracket, you have to nurture all of them, because you never can tell which one of these guys will blossom and give you proper representation tomorrow. But in this part of the world, we have to make do with whichever way we do our things, and the way it works here is that you get to do well in tournaments. That's the only way you get. Anybody remember?
English was almost a leading when he said, the way we do our things here.
But that's the reality.
Is our reality, really?
It's sad, but that's the reality.
Ask the two sets who that couldn't, get past the AFCON.
Yeah.
Nobody. If you ask any average Nigerian, they can't even remember a single person's name.
Yeah.
That is how bad it is. Except for those guys who go to win. And then even those who win, your winning must also be consistent at the under level before you start having your name registered. Now, when I mean consistent, you win the WAFU, you qualify for the Nations Cup. You also win the Nations Cup.
Yeah.
As of then, the name will now start registering. It's not what it should be. Like you just said, it should be developmental. This is what it is. You have names, even if you cannot pick all. I keep going back to Argentina, Jose Peckerman, from under 12 to under 13 to 15 to 17 to 19, up until the under 23. And from under 12 to under 23.
Let me pause you so that we can get back to Austin. It's full time at St. Mary's. Liverpool have managed to win this game. Yeah. It means we have to wait till the weekend before we know who wins the league. And it still is. It's still in City's hands. It's still in City's hands. They have to win. They have to win. But kudos to Liverpool, competing in 4 competitions and still being in all those 4 competitions till the very last day. They've won 2. They're still in the remaining 2. You have to respect what Jurgen Klopp has done for this Liverpool side. I'm on live TV. I would have given them an applause. I can't do that. But I am impressed. Even if City goes on to win the league, you have to respect this Liverpool team for giving their all. So that's it. I
totally agree. I totally agree. You have to credit Liverpool, for putting up, a fight. They had to bounce back. You could tell that draw to Spurs really hurt them, but Spurs actually needed that result too. For a team that is just going to win the FA Cup against a good team as Chelsea, you would expect some level of complacency or some, tiredness or even lack of character. But they stayed focused, kept their eyes on the prize. Had to come back, and now they're giving us the final showdown by taking the league title fight to the last day of the season. So good job, Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. We'll wait to see on the final day the team that really deserves to win the title. We're going to win it. Yeah,
it's very hard to think that Liverpool City will lose on the last day. I doubt it. But all right, we need to pause and go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll talk about Michael Jordan. If we have time, we throw in a slice of boxing. But let's go for that break. We'll return for more Sports Tonight. All right, that's it. And first, we're on the home stretch. We're about to wrap things up on the show. We are hoping that any moment we get news from the WAFU B on the 20 championship that would indicate that the Flying Eagles probably have turned things around. As it stands, it's still 1-1. Hopefully before we leave the studio, we will get some heartwarming news from London Boso's boys. All right, guys, let's quickly move on as we talk about some sneakers that were worn by basketball legend, American Michael Jordan, going for sale in an auction. And the asking price is $10,000. I mean, that's it right there on your screen. We're talking about sports memorabilia, and I mean, a lot going on. People from these parts of the world wonder, I mean, why would you take such amount and do all of these things? But I mean, those who shell out these amounts of money, they understand the reasons why they do so. Let's just quickly take some reactions about these sneakers that are about to go on sale, and we'll come back to wrap things up on the show.
This will be the first rookie card, basketball card, that we're selling here at Christie's. What's amazing about this card is it's really kind of the unicorn of the card collecting community. It's a original Fleer rookie card of Michael Jordan from 85-86. And then the card itself was, for the 20th anniversary, Upper Deck released 23 cards, you know, that number being symbolic to any Michael Jordan fan, 14 of which are known, all signed. So here we have 5 shoes, which will be in the upcoming auction, 6 rings. So the 5 shoes, this pair being one of the earliest pairs of Jordans in this condition, original Jordans, that are on existence in the market. So in 1985, when this whole Michael Jordan journey began, this was the first pair, this was the Jordan 1s, you know, this is where it all began. The auction itself, we're projecting, you know, upwards potentially of $4 million, which is really impressive. What I think is so cool about this category, and what I think is, you know, really what we see the future of this category going, is we have items like this pair that would start for bidding at $10,000, and we have items like this pair we spoke about, the Last Dance pair, which we predict will sell for upwards of $700,000 potentially. So there's really something for everyone who's interested in collecting in Michael Jordan, you know, memorabilia.
I need to correct myself. I didn't get the figures right. Let me say it properly. They expect that the 6 items all together will rake in about $4 million. That's what the lady. There we go. That's what the lady is saying. So, but because
with the figure you called, I was going to throw in a bid. You know, like let me just have one of that, and
let's try.
Maybe 20 years time I sell it and I make good money. You know.
All right. It's going to be a 2-week auction from June the 1st to 14th. So we'll see what happens in that one. 5 shoes, one by the legend, and 1 basketball card. All right, let's go at boxing as we go on the show. Let me allow Kende Idris. We hear that the WBC, as high as the president, Sulaiman, saying if Tyson Fury retires, there's a possibility Deontay Wilder is going to get a first shot at the title. Yeah. And first, do you think Tyson Fury will retire? I want your response to be very fast. And do you see this guy being in the state of mind to come out and box?
If Tyson Fury gets to retire, no brainer, Deontay Wilder will get it.
Anybody that shows up.
The only thing that gets to stand in between Deontay Wilder and that WBC belt is Tyson Fury. And for Tyson Fury, I think the guy's toyed with us a lot of times. I'm retiring, look at me, I'm so big, I won't be able to box again. And then the next moment is in the ring, he's hitting hard and then hitting you to the canvas. It is what it is. The unification bout is juicy enough for Tyson Fury to always be ready whenever it's time. So retirement...
So that will happen if Usyk beats AJ?
Whether Usyk beats AJ, whether AJ beats Usyk and all of that, whichever of them will be ready for the unification bout.
That's the only thing that you think will take
Yes. Probably after unification bout, if he tells me he's retired, then I can take that. Without that, Tyson Fury is not going anywhere. He wants to unify that belt. He knows it's better than everybody on that pedestal. And he wants to do that, you know, with the belts on his hand. It's not by saying, I am the best, look at my... No, hold those belts, you know, all 5 of them.
Okay. All right. We have to close, but just, Austin, maybe 30 seconds, you want to say something about this before we wrap things up on the show?
I just feel Tyson Fury knows that unification is his major temptation, you know. He loves everything he has done with boxing, but this is the heavyweight category, Yemi and Kendi. Just one punch, and then you start asking questions. Why did I go for this fight? But I don't want him to retire. I'd like to see AJ and Tyson Fury right here in the UK. It will make heavyweight boxing something else I've ever seen.
Okay. All right. All right. We have to end it on that note. First, I want to thank Kende Idris for his time on the show. Hopefully, we'll do this again next week.
I'm always ready. And the conversation, it just continues outside.
Yeah, show hands, conversation never ends. All right, that's the show today. We do hope you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll be here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money, spinning, fast-paced, entertaining, and enjoyable world of sports. I'm Imad Bye. Bye-bye now.
Remember to keep the conversation going on Twitter, channels_sports. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.